Good morning and welcome back to the third term, even though it's not quite what we expected it would be. So today you have English in period 4 and 5. So this should be period 4 now. What I want you to do in period 4 is to listen to this video, and we're going through a PowerPoint that you've already done in class, so it should be familiar to you. In period 4, you are sort of going over your notes and checking that you have everything that you're going to need. You're going to go to your jotter and have a look. It was way back at sort of end of November, beginning of December when we did the discursive work. And so it's been quite a while since we worked on it. So you need to go through and make sure you have everything that you're supposed to have, the notes that we took in class. If, as we go through this PowerPoint, you realise that you've missed a bit, if you've missed a couple of days and you don't have what you need to let me know. And if you could email me straight away, that would be really good. In period 5, we're going to run a live lesson. So there'll be a Google Meet link will appear on the classroom at the beginning of period 5, and then you'll be able to join. So have a wee look for that link. That's going to be time that you'll have to talk to me and discuss things and ask me any questions if you're not sure. Next week, you actually have 3 periods of English, so there won't be as much to do this week, and next week will be a busy one. So I'm just going to remind you of the work that we did in the discursive writing unit. If you remember, the first thing we did was we defined what discursive writing is. It's a discussion. So for discursive writing, you show both sides of an issue. Our aim is to learn and understand the use of discursive techniques. And the techniques that I want you to focus on are statistics, opinion, facts, and the rule of 3. And SOFT is just a nice, easy way to remember that. These are not all of the techniques that you would use in an essay, but these are the ones that we're focusing on because it's a good idea to kind of build up how to use them before we add new ones. So if you remember, and I'm not going to go over this in detail because we did this in class, you did these activities and you should be able to go and look in your jotter and actually find the notes that you made while we were doing this in class. Okay, so you'll be looking for something that talks about your fact and your opinion. You should have a table in your jotter with 3 facts and 2 opinions. And we looked at statistics. And if you remember, we watched the wee clip. You were to identify statistics and write them into your jotter. And we looked at how people use the rule of 3 in order to make things sound good. So we've got things like 3 simple words: stop the count, count every vote, which kind of makes it sound sharp and good, and it makes people remember it easily. Then we've got this idea of kind of 2 descriptive terms and then the noun at the end. Delicious, tantalizing, turkeys is 3 things used together that make them sound really good. You were to come up with your own slogan, and that was just a reminder. Now, here's the important part for today. You need to make sure you have your notes from the sources so that when we begin writing the essay next week, you'll know what you're doing. So, the first thing we did was you read the close reading, Bird That Never Misses Dinner. That's online for you, and so you should be able to have another read through it. And you should have made your points, the points for and the points against. You should have a table in your jotter with those notes on it. If you don't have that, you need to let me know. The next thing we did was we looked at that film, Food Inc. Now, there was a little bit of the film that we were using. We weren't using the whole film because there was a lot of information. So we just looked at that clip with the chickens. And we were gonna, your essay is then going to cover the situation in other places in the world. And we're going to analyze what we saw in that film and think about those practices that are going on elsewhere and what the problems are with that. And you should have had your points for and points against done. And then you were given a research task. I know some people did it. I'll be catching up with the people that haven't submitted it to try and give them some help over today and over next week. So that's your third paragraph is going to be on this, your own sources that you found. Okay. So you should have for today, the first thing you need to do is go through your jotter and then look back at the materials that are on the classroom to remind yourself. And then I'll talk to everybody in period 4 at 12:30.